Hey gang, welcome back to another video here at Joe Daddy's Garage. If you've been following along with some of my work that I've been doing on the Brooklyn Pony and Jade, and also in my live feeds that I'm trying to do, or live streams that I'm trying to do on Monday nights, I may have pointed out that I'm trying to do a video every week. And to that end, I'm going to do one today that is going to be on the Brooklyn Pony, but it's also going to be on a tool that I just bought. Now, I'm always looking for new tools or new ways to use tools, and when I stumble across something I find interesting that can help me out with the task, I want to share it with you. I have some welds on the Brooklyn Pony, and I'll show you those, that I've struggled with, let's say, how to grind them down. If you follow along, you know that I grind down a lot of my welds as smooth as I can. I try to make things look nice. But there's a few welds in some tough locations on this car, and it's bothered me for quite a while because I could not get a tool in there to sand these down. Well, I was at Harbor Freight the other day, and I bought one of these. Now, this is a Baxter 1/2 by 18 belt sander. If you've seen my other video I did on the Baxter airfile, I like it. I think Baxter, from what I can tell, is making some pretty good tools. So this tool should do exactly what I want to take care of those welds. So this video is going to be a combination of things. It's going to be getting work done on the Brooklyn Pony that I need to do anyway, but it's also going to show you how you can use one of these tools to help in the process. So I'm going to open this up and show you what's in the box. Now again, this is from Harbor Freight. The let's see if there's an item number on it somewhere. Yeah, there's an item number, 64932. And again, I think this is a pretty cool little tool. So I'm going to open it up here. And you can see it came in a plastic sleeve, which we're not worried about that. It comes with a spare belt, and there's already one installed. And there's a little plug that, well, this was supposed to be in the bottom here, that says, well, it says something in, I don't know, Spanish, I don't know, whatever that is. Anyway, what it's saying is oil daily or warranty is void. So Harbor Freight puts I think a 90-day warranty on these, and you can buy an extended warranty if you like. There's some paperwork here with instructions and use and safety and all that sort of thing. I'm not really going to get into that because I think it's pretty obvious that if you've seen the work that I do, I point out wear safety glasses, wear a dust mask, wear gloves, all those sort of things. And based on this tool, I'm going to say don't put your hand on the belt. That should be obvious, but I'm pretty sure that's what the safety instructions point out. This comes, as you see it right now, with this arm in line with the handle. And it is adjustable. There's an Allen wrench in here, and you can loosen this bolt, and then this becomes where you can rotate it. So if you have different angles you want to get into, you can preset it and tighten the bolt back down. That's a trigger down here, and there's also a control. Now this controls your airflow, so that's a help too because you can adjust that rather than trying to adjust it with your hand. I will point out there's no safety on this, so if you lay something on this or you get get it wedged in somewhere, it's going to stay running as long as the air is connected to it. So just keep that in mind. A lot of air tools these days have a little safety device built into the trigger, and this one doesn't, which I'm okay with that because I don't like that little trigger. It gets in the way. So I'm just going to kind of set this at a arbitrary angle, nothing specific, and tighten it down a little bit. I like the design that you can rotate that around where you need it or where it'll serve your purpose. I'll also point out it's got a little rubber piece right here that acts as a deflector. So if you're sanding, it's going to hopefully deflect some debris away from your hands or whatever. I also want to show you something else. I've been looking at these a little bit in different stores and designs. Now I've seen other ones that are shorter, but I like this one because of the length. I can get into a deeper channel or space. but also to change out your belt, you can press this, and it's got a catch right here. And what that does is it allows you to remove your belt, so you can slip the belt on. And I will point out the back pulley, the drive pulley, is grooved, or it has a shoulder on it so that the sanding belt will stay in place. And then the front, it just relies on a single roller. So you get that in place, and you can hit the little release, and the belt gets tight. I also want to point out that this is adjustable. And what I mean is, if you have an alignment issue, you can adjust this. There's a screw right here, and there's also a second Allen wrench, and you can loosen up, the screw and tweak the angle on the end by rotating, the adjuster. I'm not going to mess with that because I don't need to, but at this point I'm just letting you know. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this, but first thing I need to do is install an air fitting in the end. And if you want, you can put Teflon around these. I've done that in the past, but as it is, I'm just going to snug this in to the opening, and it's ready to go. I'm going to show you some of the areas that I'm referring to. If you followed along in the videos, you know I installed the TCI suspension, and I had to modify the brackets in the rear on the frame rails because the Dynacorn frame rails are wider than factory Mustang frame rails. So the brackets that are designed to fit the factory car are too narrow. And if you go back and look at those videos, you can see that I ended up having to splice or cut. Let's see if I can fix this light in here. There we go. So I had to cut on this corner in order to get this part in, and then bring this part in, and then weld this together. Now these brackets were originally designed to be bolted in, but because of the modifications I had to make, I welded them in. So they're permanent to the car. Now, some of the areas that I want to talk about is where these welds are on the side. Now originally these were holes that were, for the bolts to go through from the original design. Well, I welded those holes shut. Out here, I was able to weld and grind that weld because I had access to it. Up there at the top, where the light is, I'll just point to it like that, it's kind of chunky looking because it's hard to get a sander in there because the flange from the wheelhouse is in the way. And same way up there towards the front. See if I can zoom in. I'm trying to hold this with one hand here. So that one, there's nothing wrong with the weld, and there's nothing wrong with it being, visible. But I like to clean things up. So I have this one on the inside here, and then on the other side, it's even tighter because you got the drop down for the trunk, where the gas tank sits, and the welds are way up in there. Again, not that big a deal, but I like to have things clean. So this weld right here, I can't get anything in there that's reasonable to sand that down and smooth it. So that's where this belt sander is going to fit. Just wonderful. I can already see it getting up in there and blending that down. Now on the outside here, really nothing. I've got most of it cleaned up. I still have a little bit of that weld that I want to maybe smooth out just a little bit, but for the most part I'm happy with how those look. Now as I move forward, this bracket is welded in, and again, these were more or less designed to be bolted in, but I welded them in. They're permanent. So you have those welds up at the top, up there, and those are okay. There's nothing wrong with those, but again, I kind of want to smooth those down. Now I could probably get in there with a 90 grinder and blend those down a little bit, but I think this belt sander is going to come in very handy for making that smooth. Along with that, I can point out some other things, like these brackets that are welded in at Dynacorn. If you look closely, where the spot welder was used, it created burrs. You see the metal hanging out up here, right there. So I can blend that down as well, because, you know, if you're putting your hand up in that opening to put this bolt in or put the nut on, you could easily snag your back of your hand on those. So it just gives me a chance to clean up stuff like that. As I move on, there's some on this side, same thing, you know, just need cleaned up a little bit. Not that difficult. I'm trying to look at the camera, look at the screen, and get the light right, and it's kind of tricky. Now, again, there's other areas like where I've welded in the torque boxes. Well, again, these welds right here, you can't get a 90-degree grinder in there. There's just not enough space. So that belt sander is going to do wonders on those, and you know, a variety of places that will need the same thing done. Same way over here. There's welds on this inner area that I'm going to blend down. So I'm going to get that belt sander out and start knocking these down. Oh, yeah. Woohoo! I think that went very well. You know, as I mentioned about smoothing out these different areas, it did a good job. Now I still have to do that top weld up there on the inside, but I did the one on the outside, and various other places. You know, it did a really good job. I wish I would have bought one of these a long time ago. So, you know, I've addressed those areas, like I said, and a little bit of high metal. I mean, you saw the video, so you know what's going on, but thought I'd give you a quick relook. Then I did find some other areas and touch them up, and you know, had a little bumpy weld sticking out right there that I knocked down just a little bit. But I think it went very well. I think that went rather well. I've never used one of these tools in this manner, but I'm happy with that. These are available at Harbor Freight, like I said, and I also found out they're available on Amazon. So I'm going to post a link to my Amazon page and a link for this tool, and also the belts. When I was at Harbor Freight, I talked to the manager, and they didn't have these belts on hand, and they didn't stock them. The only belts that they had were for woodworking. That's not going to hold up doing metal work and grinding. So I'll post a link for both, and you can check that out if you like. Very handy, and I'm going to be using this a lot. I'll just say that. So I know this is just a short video. It wasn't a big welding video or sheet metal or anything like that, but if it's something that I feel useful that you can use, I want to share it with you, and that's what I did. Now I'm going to make a new video for next week, and it's going to be replacing the hinge pins on the door hinges for the Brooklyn Pony. As I mentioned when I made my first video with that car, I think it was in the first video, I said I think I can save the door hinges. And I am going to use the door hinges, but I found a little bit of play in the pins, or in the hinge function. I don't want that. I want that solid. So I'm going to replace those pins, and that'll be the next video. One more thing I need to take care of. I said in the last video, when I was doing the spray epoxy and the Evercoat products and all that stuff, that I was going to do the t-shirt giveaway. So this is the t-shirt, and it's got dust on it, and everybody has said leave the dust on it and whatnot. So I'm going to leave the dust on it, and it is that Optics t-shirt. It's a large, and anybody who responded on the previous video at all, any response, is going to be in the drawing. So what I'm going to do, I have a program on my laptop, and I'm going to take you over there and show it to you, that it'll pick a winner from all the comments made, but it weeds out any duplicate comments. Simple way to, do the drawing. I know in the past I've done it to where I picked, a number, or put a number on everybody's comment, and it got kind of complicated. So I'm going to do that for the shirt. I think there were 73 comments, or 73 unique comments, or commenters, however you want to say it. So we're going to do a drawing off of those, and we're going to go over to the laptop and take care of that. Okay, so here's how it works. This program I learned about from my buddy Tim, who has RC Guy Garage, and he uses it for random drawings. And basically I put in the video URL up here, and then I hit this button, and it tells me that I have 73 unique commenters, and then I click on start over here, and it picks a random person based on those comments. So this is, let's see, Stallion Ranch Woodworks, and he left a nice comment there. So that's who wins. Stallion Ranch Woodworks. That's kind of tough to say. You know what? I'm going to start over. That's the winner. Stallion Ranch Woodworks. Say that 3 times real fast. See if you can't roll that right out of your tongue. Anyway, he wins the t-shirt, and I will be contacting him based on his his comment. I'll put a post, and we'll work it out to where I can send it to him. So congratulations, and that's it. All right, Stallion Ranch Woodworks, you've won the t-shirt. And I will leave a comment on the previous video, on the comment that you left, letting you know to contact me at joedaddysgarage@gmail.com, and then we can work it out and get the shirt sent to you. Now, as I said, the next video will be on the hinge pins for the Brooklyn Pony, so look forward to that. And also I have another viewer's ride coming up this weekend, and it'll be Jamel. He's got a 68 fastback that he wants to talk about, so stay tuned for that. and that's it. So if you would, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, leave a thumbs up, comment, share, whatever, all those cool things that help the channel grow. My numbers are growing, and they're growing fast, and it's because of viewers like you that are here watching. So thank you very much for doing that. And until next time, take care of yourselves. And people can give debates as to whether they like, the tools or the quality or whatever. Man, I can't get over that. It doesn't look level. It doesn't look level. I struggle with this because I look at the camera and it looks like it's not level to me, but I look at the picture of the Mustang up above and it's level with the valance panel. Everybody's waiting for a Bluetooth blooper, but I don't have a Bluetooth, so not gonna happen. Ta-da!